All right, this is our Tuesday night huddle, and we are kind of changing it up a little bit tonight because myself, Kate, and Sarah are really fired up. We had an incredible call today with corporate. We are all a part of a brand new kind of coaching program, and they brought some awesome fire and belief and a really cool way of doing business. So we're going to share that with you guys tonight. I'm going to kick it over to Sarah, and she's going to start
Awesome.
talking. I think that's
Yeah. Hey, we don't really have to have a full game plan, right? We're just going to roll with it.
That's right.
Okay. So I'm going to start with talking about an analogy that Genevieve gave us today that was absolutely incredible. And I may botch it just a little bit, but bear with me. Just stay with me for these analogies because they're not like analogies are not normally my thing, but these are so good and they're not mine. So I get to share somebody else's. So we're talking today about, when you've got a boat, right? Your business is your boat. And so you've got this boat and you're the leader, you're rowing, right? It's your business, you're in there. And we want people to hop in our boat and ride along, right? Some people, they're going to be your customers. They're going to hop in. They're going to just be along for the ride, use their products. Happy customers are incredible. We want happy customers and we want lots of those, right? We also, being that we are human, cannot row alone all of the time. So we, in addition to having riders, need rowers. Because what's going to happen when you're rowing your boat and you've got all these riders, but you don't have additional, or your arms are going to get tired, your boat's going to fill up with people, and it's going to get more and more difficult to get that boat going, right? And the goal for us as rowers is to find other rowers, strengthen their rowing abilities so that then they can go to their own boat and fill it up with riders and rowers and so forth and so forth. And eventually we have this fleet of rowers. Did I do a good job, Amy and Kate? Did I do okay with that one? Okay. So that was the first analogy. So the goal here in what we're going to share tonight, we're going to do our absolute best to translate everything we learned because we are like not only on fire, but probably a little bit like our brains are still going. So we're going to try to give y'all as much of this information so that you can not only be a better rower, but you can develop rowers and you can love your riders where they're at. Okay. So the next analogy that she gave us, which is probably one of my favorite because my husband is a hunter and a fisherman, and he is very gifted in both of those. And so when I heard this, I was like, oh, I get to use this with somebody that's not a woman too. Like but it resonates with us as women. So here we go. We're going to talk about, we're going to shift from the boat and we're still going to keep in the water and we're going to become fishermen. Okay. So when you are a fisherman and you are going out to cast the line and catch fish, right? This is the source of your food. You've got to catch some fish. You're not going to just go to some random place in the water. Trust me, that's like a little puddle. You're not going to just go to murky water where you have no clue what's going on. You're going to go to an area of water that fish are biting. People are telling you there's fish biting here. People are going to, this is a known place for fish to be biting, i.e. IG. So there's fish biting in this area, right? So you're going to go out there, and what do you need in order to fish properly? You need one, the correct pole, because if you're going out and catching like little perch with a pole, you cannot catch sharks with that same pole. That's not a question, that's a fact. I'm guaranteeing you of that. They will snap that pole in half. But you also need the right bait. And so if you're going and you're trying to catch minnows with minnow bait, great, you're going to catch a bunch of minnows, high five, hope you catch some perch and all the things. But if you're going to catch bass, or you're going to catch larger fish, or you want to get this big mahi in the ocean, you're going to have to use different bait, different equipment, right? And so this is really important, knowing that you also, in either analogy I'm going to give you, you're going to have to be patient, right? So when a fisherman fishes, I came up with this kind of after the fact when I was explaining it to my husband, because I was really getting in deep with him on it. But when you're fishing, you can sometimes have to sit there for a whole long time till they start biting. Okay. And there are days that fish just don't bite. But do you just stop fishing? Do you just say, it's okay, my family's going to starve tonight because we don't need any fish? No, you're still hungry. You're still going to keep going after it, right? So you keep fishing. So you might still go back and find some small fish, but you're gonna still fish for those big ones because it's gonna last you a longer time, right? And I know I'm shifting this analogy just a smidge from what we were given, but I really feel passionate. Okay, so here's the thing about hunting. When you are a hunter, what are the things that you need? You need camo, you need paint on your face, you might need to put a little urine on your clothes. You might, it's the facts. See, I'm married to a hunter, you know this. And you're gonna need weapons, you're going to need tactics. And what is going to happen when your prey sees or notices you? They are going to bolt. They are going to be out and they may not come back. And if they do, they're going to be very cautious in coming back, right? So here's the thing. We don't want to be hunters. We're not out for prey. We want to be fishermen. We want to give them the right bait. We want to use the right tools and have the right resources, right? And then to take it just a little bit further from that, I was telling my husband, when you are patient and when you use the right tools and the right resources to catch that, what are you going to do? You're not going to just throw the fish whole into some batter and throw it in a fryer, right? No, you're going to take scales off. You're going to take, but you're going to nurture it. And really, you're going to love that with your pride and joy. And you're going to be so proud of it because you worked so hard and you had to be so patient. And it's the same thing as we're, going out and finding new VIPs and finding new business builders. It might take some patience. You can't just start, right? You still have to be doing things in the in-between. You still have to make, fill in some gaps, but you have to go out consistently every single day, because you know what happens when you miss a couple days? All the other fishermen come back and they're like, oh man, they were biting like crazy today. I've got 6 fish. I've got this going on. I've got that going on. And you're like, oh, if I had just stuck with it every day, I would have been in the same boat as them. And so this is where consistency is key. So hopefully you guys feel like I did a good job with those analogies. I'm really trying over here, but I was like, man, these are just such great processes to how we think about what we're doing. Amy or Kate, do y'all have anything to add, or do you want me to just keep moving forward?
Well, the only thing I wanted to add, you did fabulous. And I think we also have to remember that we cannot undo the past decade of people in our industry being hunters, right? So I think a lot of people come to us already feeling hunted. So we need to be those fishermen. And when she said, who do you have in your boat? And I immediately was like, oh my gosh, I only have like a couple people rowing with me. Everyone else is riding and my boat is heavy. It's because though, I've not been showing them how to row. So I wanted to make sure that what you guys see, what we're going to talk about tonight is it's not because, we just have people that are riders. It's because we haven't actually shown them how to row with us. And we're going to talk about that tonight, how to row and how to fish. So go for it, Sarah.
And there will also be points too that I would say you're going to show people how to row. Mm-hmm. And they're still not going to row maybe the right way or the proper way to really pull the weight. And you're going to have to allow them to row the way they're rowing, as long as they're not rowing against you, and let them be a rider. You accept them as a rider, even though they want to row, until they can finally get the hang of it. Because I'm telling you guys, it can be hard for people to shift their mindsets or to change habits. So just know that going into it. Okay. Amy, do we have the slides starting here, or do you want me to just hop on in?
I can go ahead and let me get the slides started just so we
okay.
Stay on task here for a second and share my screen. There it is. Okay, do you see that?
I see it. Okay, so this is like, y'all, I have been with this company over 8 years. We are jewels. And this is a game changer for us. So I know this could be a game changer for you. So we're going to go over tonight a sheet that we all work off called the winning day. You don't have to have a sheet. If you want a sheet, contact whichever of us is your closest jewel, and we will be happy to send you a sheet to work this every day. This is a daily habit you are creating. This is not a random here and there. So pick 5 days a week. You can take a couple days off. For me, it's the weekends. I take the weekends off. But pick your day. Some people have like random days, they have to change it because of work schedules, but pick 5 days a week that you are going to consistently work this. You're going to want to set aside probably 2 hours. I know a couple of people have told me that it took them like 3 to 4 when they first started the first few days because they had to kind of get the hang of it. But if you will go into it with a mindset of I'm going to do exactly what this says, and we're going to get into another analogy in a second, then you will be successful. Genevieve said it very clearly. We are going to give you a recipe. If you follow the recipe, you will have the perfect cookies. So let's just go there for a second. We're going to give you a recipe, right? If someone has like the most award-winning cookie in the world and you're like, I've never tasted anything like this before. This is the most delish cookie I've ever had in my life. Can you please give me the recipe? And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you the recipe, but what are the 3 things about a recipe you must know? Ingredients matter, order matters, and quantity matters. So if you want the perfect cookie, yes, you can kind of shift a little bit, but the 3 things that you can't change are the basics, and that's the ingredients, the order, and the quantity. And when you do shift those and you do them differently, you're going to get a different result. And then, yeah, go ahead.
Let me just real quick. I just want to say one thing I love about this, guys, is I hear from a lot of you where you say, okay, you know what? I sat down, I carved out 30 minutes to an hour to work my business. I don't know what to do. What to do? What do I do? Okay, I have an hour. Now what? This is the now what. And it's so simple if you follow the recipe, but it's that it answers that question to, okay, what do I do to work my business? Sorry, go ahead.
No, and I was just going to say, one of the most important things that I'll give y'all just a little bit of snippet as I've been doing this for almost a week now. Well, right at a week. And I will tell you, when I first started doing it, I thought, let me just tell you first, I thought that I was like killing it on my IPA. I was like, I am a boss when it comes to IPA. I can knock that out. Girl was corrected real fast doing winning day, because here's the thing. I was spending a lot of time in areas that were not effectively growing my business. And I was spending too much time in areas like, i.e., reels. They're fun, they're effective, but you should not be spending your entire day making reels. So the thing is when you, let me tell you, I'll give y'all a really quick statistic here, not statistic, but just experience I've had, and then we'll move on to the next part. When I started doing winning day, I'm implementing my niche alongside that. Okay. So I've got those 2 things going. I've been doing my niche for 6 months. I told y'all this takes patience. You have to be patient. It's not going to happen overnight. When you are doing something long-term and you're willing to stick it with it, my sister tells me all the time, what if a year from now, everything could change, but you got to stick with what I'm telling you. That's what I'm going to challenge y'all to. Give it a year, a solid 12 months from today, that you're going to start implementing this and see where you are a year from now. But here's the thing. I would sit down, and I'm going to just show y'all from a distance. This is my winning day worksheet. And number 1 is 15 minutes of something, which we're going to go over this in a minute. I would find myself like kind of scatterbraining, and I'm like, oh, somebody messaged me. I see a message pop up. I see this happen. You have to really get tunnel vision. So when I say set the time aside, you need a time block. You need to be ready. I set timers. I put my earpods in and put silent music or quiet music on so I can't hear kiddos. Like, really focus. If you will be intentional in your time, you will see results. And I will tell you, in a week of doing this, I've increased my IG followers consistently, not a bunch of fluctuation, by over 30 people. And they are people who are now also engaging with me. Like, I'm in more conversations, intentional, good conversations in the past week than I maybe have been at one time in 8 years. So there is purpose behind it. So I'm going to pass over to Amy. Amy's going to start breaking down winning day for us.
All right. Thank you, friend. So a lot of you guys in the chat were like, oh my gosh, that's me. I sit down and I'm like, what? So what does the winning day look like? All right. This is it. It is 6 things, but remember, ingredients and order, right? And so the first thing that you do is you sit down and you set a timer. I actually have a timer here. You can buy these. I get a Tribe box, which is like a monthly subscription box for network marketers. And this came in my box once. So this is a 15-minute timer you can set. Obviously you can use your phone, but you're going to get social, and we're going to dig into these a little bit deeper. But then when that timer goes off, you're going to immediately, and like Sarah said, you're not going to answer messages when they come through. I don't care if it's your dream teamer. Okay. Nothing in Plexus is an emergency. And we don't always want to be at people's beck and call. Okay. So you do have to hold yourself accountable and be laser focused when you're doing your winning day. Okay. The next 15 minutes, you're going to make a post. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Again, the detail. The next 15 minutes is all business building. We're going to tell you exactly what to do. Then here comes the bulk of the work, right? The next 30 to 60 minutes is follow-up. Then you're going to promote, and then you're going to post about your day, okay? You are not going to get your winning day, and you're not going to sit down and you're not going to post about your day first, okay? You can't get to step number 6 on your recipe without doing steps 1, 2, 3 in order, right? Like step 6 is put it in the oven. That doesn't work if you haven't mixed the ingredients in the right order, right? So what do those look like? I think we said I was going to talk about a couple, then I'm going to kick it over to Kate. Please jump in, because again, guys, this is like fresh. We didn't like prep this today. So what does it look like when we say spend 15 minutes getting social? You're going to do these things, okay? You're not just going to go on Facebook or Instagram and play around. There are specific tasks for those 15 minutes, okay? So you're going to like and comment on people that follow you. You're going to engage, all right? Then you're going to follow a hashtag. Let's see, I follow hashtags. I used to follow like RV life. Now I follow, like, I'm kind of Lego obsessed. I also follow some gut health things, right? Things around my niche, but also things around my business. I'm going to go like and comment or follow that hashtag and then comment on a couple of their recent posts. Okay. Then I'm going to follow someone who is a non-Plexus influencer. Now, not somebody who has like 24 million followers, but I'll give you a good example of someone I follow. Amberly Lago. She actually is the author of this book. She's the Plexus Book Club author for February. She's a non-Plexus influencer, and she has a small enough following on Instagram that she is on Instagram. So when I comment, she replies, and now her and I are in a message together. Okay, so you're going to follow the hashtag or follow that influencer and comment. Then what you're going to do, so if I'm on Amberly Lago's Instagram and she made a post that I just really love, I'm going to follow some of the people that commented on her post that I think I might like to follow. Okay. And then I'm going to connect with them. I'm going to follow their accounts, and then I'm going to comment on their posts, and I'm going to reply on their comments to Amberly's post. So does that make sense? You can drop some questions in the chat. Let me check it real quick. I see.
Hey, Amy,
let
me hop in too really quick and just say one of the other things is when you're commenting, it needs to be authentic and valuable. So if someone's like, oh, I've had a really great day. I, got out and walked a mile. I've walked a mile every day for the last 6 days. This emoji is not going to cut it. This emoji is not going to cut it. You need to say, wow, I'm so proud of you. Like, what a difficult task for so many. And I'm really proud that you're sticking with it. Keep up the good work. I wish I could do the same thing. Or, you're challenging me to get out there and go walk a mile every day or something along those lines. You need to be adding value. If this is not someone who you want to continue to follow and continue to engage with, and you're going into it like, I want this person on my team, but you're not actually engaging with the information that they're putting out there, then you're doing them and yourself a disservice.
Yes, thank you so much. Like, this is not doing this just to do it. You have to be, like she said, authentically relational and thoughtful. And you honestly really have to like to follow these people and want to do this authentically. And if you don't, then, I don't know what to tell you. Like, we really have to want to do this. And I got to give Brandon a shout out here. He said 3 out of the 5 new accounts that he followed today followed him back and interacted with him. So this works if we do it, right? So you do want to be that kind of authentically and be thoughtful in your engagement. And we're not just doing generic stuff, right? That's why you really want to find accounts that you relate to And they do not have to be people that you want to get on Plexus, right? So don't be thinking specifically, oh, I need this person to be a customer, right? So then that's your 15 minutes, okay? The second 15 minutes is make a post. And you are going to do this because, listen, you want to get noticed by adding value to people's lives. That's what Sarah was just talking about. You want to add value. So you are going to post once a day. You are going to do 2 reels a week and 1 live. Now, listen, many of us are in reel challenges. We're trying to post 1 reel a day. That's fine. But for your winning day, this is what we want to do. And you want to educate, entertain, or inspire in these social relationships you have with the people that follow you, whether they follow you on Instagram or they follow you on Facebook, okay? Then within this 15 minutes of making a post, you want to respond to any people's comments within that first hour. So while you're doing your hour of your business, you make this post. If anybody comments on that post while you're doing your winning day, you do want to reply right away within the first hour, okay? Then within an hour of this post, because you've kind of primed the algorithm, you want to make sure you've got 3 stories up within an hour of posting. Now, if you just get in the habit of sharing stories, kind of, batching it, I batch a lot in the morning and then I batch a lot in the afternoon, then you're always going to have stories up. It doesn't necessarily have to be 3 new stories because you posted. You just need to have stories up that are running after your post. And then,
Hey, Amy,
yeah,
can I hop in real quick with the post? With the post, posting your pink drink and your Plexus and your graphic-y stuff, that is not a post that we are talking about here. So if you're like, well, I'm posting every day and it's a picture of you with your pink drink and I personally do not post anything on IG that is not in my niche, which is not anything Plexus. There are no graphics about Plexus in my post. You will not find that. In my stories, you will find me talk about Plexus all day, every day. Like I will do that, but my posts are very niche driven. And I want to encourage you to get out of your comfort zone. If you're just posting about Plexus, then you're going to look like a walking advertisement. This is somewhere you are building relationships, and people do not relation, is that a thing, to Plexus. They don't even, most of them maybe know what it is. They just instantly see sale, sale, sale. And so if you want engagement on your post, I'm going to challenge you to shift from posting about Plexus and start really honing into a niche. And by the way, Plexus is not a niche. It is a job.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And, I will tell you too, that a lot of this is heavily focused on Instagram, but I see in the chat, like people have said, wherever you have the most success, right? But I will tell you, if you do though want to grow a network, like if you need new people in your network, you aren't necessarily going to get new people on Facebook unless you're out meeting people. Like I'm still successful on Facebook because I'm constantly adding new friends that I meet in real life, like my neighbors, like other moms, like teachers from the school, right? Instagram though is where you can grow your network without ever leaving your house. And you don't actually have to put in the footwork of growing your network. So like for me, I've got a lot of new people on Facebook that I'm really engaging with and doing all of this to build that relationship. But then I'm also doing it on Instagram because I still want to grow that network. Okay. So hopefully that clarifies a bit. So that was just 15 minutes. And I think this is why Sarah said some people, when you first do it, it's going to take you longer because this right here, these 3 or 4 things are going to take you longer than 15 minutes the first couple times you do them if you're not used to it, right? So then the next 15 minutes though is business building. And this is the kind of the heart of your business. But again, you have to do step 1 and 2 first, right? And you're going to expose and connect with 3 people that you want to do business with in Plexus, okay? You are exposing 3 new people to the vision of extra income with Plexus so you can find the people that you're looking for, okay? And then regardless of their answer, you're going to offer a product experience and you're going to go for 3 no's a day. And then we're going to talk about why it says phone or voice messages only. Now, before you guys get hung up on that number 3, okay? If you currently do not have 3 people to reach out to every single day, that's okay. You're not going to quit doing the winning day. You're going to keep doing these steps, and maybe you just reach out to one, or maybe you just reach out to somebody who is a current product user and you're visioning the business, okay? So eventually this is going to work, and you are going to be able to expose 3 people a day to the Plexus vision. But my team hears me preach all of the time. Don't ever text somebody about Plexus. Send them a voice message. Call them on the phone is even better, but a lot of us project that people don't want to talk on the phone anymore. Let me tell you, the reason you do this, and then I'm going to kick it over to Kate because she's got some good mojo around this. People will put, when you send a text and it's just words, they will put their bias, their skepticism, and their own negativity toward network marketing onto your voice, okay? Every time. It's a natural bias. We all do it. When I read a text message somebody sends me, I read it in my voice. And if I'm super skeptical about Plexus, that's how I'm going to read your message. But we cannot do that when they actually hear your voice. So Kate, I know you wanted to say some stuff about that, and then I'm going to let you take over here, friend.
Yeah, I just want to, am I taking over and doing the rest of the winning day workshop? Amy, are you doing that?
Go for it, girlfriend. Go for it.
Perfect. So, the call today was fire, and Amy's talking all this. And when Genevieve got to this part, I went, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I felt like, and I immediately reached out to Sarah and Amy, and I felt like it was a cold message, but it is not about a cold message. It's about letting people hear your voice, letting people hear your heart, and letting them know that you feel wanting to know if they are open to the idea of hearing more. And that is where it takes the switch from cold messaging somebody about the products and going from like making yourself a win. I just want to make a win. I just want to make a sale, to saying, and I've got some voice messages or some videos that I took from today's call that I can put in our chat groups, but it's about saying messages from the heart. I reached out to somebody today, you guys, and this scared me. Okay. And I just explained to her, first of all, in a voice message, because voice messages relay how we feel. Again, like Amy said, I will take a message that people send me and take it how I perceive it, but you can never go away from how you're really trying to get the point across. And I just explained to her what I love about her, what I love about a relationship that we have, because we've been building a relationship on IG. I've never met this lady at all, but she's a fellow cattle rancher and she works in the medical field. And so I can relate to her. And she posts a lot about when she's at work and how she wishes she wasn't there. And I just reached out to her and I said, I don't know if this is for you or not. I have been where you've been. I have had to show up to the office multiple times, eating my lunch at 10 a.m. on a 12-hour shift because we've been there for 4 hours and we're hungry already at 10 a.m. And I would love to know if you are open to hearing more about what I have done to be able to step away from the office and be able to be on the ranch more. Okay. She immediately responded to me and said, I've tried Plexus before. I didn't really like it, but I would be open to hearing more about it. So it's about letting them hear your heart. And she said, thank you for making my day by saying all of those nice things. It's not a, hey girl, have you seen my Plexus posts? Would you like to try it? It's explaining to them why you are reaching out to them, what you see the value of them and what they could do for you and your team and why they would be good at this, what we can do for them. And we have to remember that it's going to take time. We're all going to be very bad at this. I'm not going to do 3 a day because it overwhelms me a little bit. I'm going to go for 1 no a day for a while until my muscle memory is so immediate that my voice messages are going to ring off the tongue. Okay. But voice messaging is humongous and it can make you or break you. But think about like when you were a child or if you have kids and they are trying a new instrument, or they are trying a new sport at first. Okay. I have an 8-year-old and it is grueling to watch 2nd and 3rd graders try to play basketball. It's like herding cats. I could be better. I would herd cat better than try to herd 10 2nd and 3rd graders on a basketball court that don't know what they're doing. But it's going to take my 8-year-old time to learn basketball. Okay. I am never going to tell her, you suck, Elsie. We should probably just go somewhere else. Like you're really good at gymnastics. Let's just stick there. No, I'm going to encourage her, because the more she does it and the more she practices, she is going to get better and better. And eventually it's going to be just a muscle memory for her. She's going to know where to go. She's going to know what to do. She's going to know which side at halftime, when you have to switch sides at halftime, all the kids can never get that right. Her muscle memory is going to work, where eventually it's just going to be easy for her. And it's going to be easy for us too. But I want you to know that all 3 of us, Jules, are scared for this also, but we are doing it alongside with you guys, because it's going to work. And the best part about leading with the business and leading with I don't know if you'd be open to what has worked for me or what's brought me home to my family. When you hit pain points of not having to miss kids' things and being home with your family for dinner, or being able to go to a branding for me for a cattle rancher instead of going to the office, when you hit their pay points, it hits home for them. And when they don't want the business, or they're like, oh, I just don't really know, I actually do love my job, or I do it for insurance. I get a lot of that. I work for insurance because my husband does it. Then you have a backfold to go to about the products. And so instead of asking for the products, they said under the products, you have nowhere to go. But if you ask about the business and ask about what has financially, if they'd be open to hearing more about the financial side of it, if they say no, then you could say, okay, well, I do think that you would love these products too. It's helped me have more energy so that when I do get home from my 12-hour shift, I can continue to be on the ranch and help my family instead of coming home and being a zombie. And so voice messages are key to this, and also knowing that you are going to suck. Like today, one of the things Genevieve said is there's a whole lot of suck on the way to success. And that hit home for me, because corporate realizes we're not going to be perfect, but they are giving us the tools in order to suck first so that we can have the success. And it will 100% work.
Hey, Kate, I want to add something to it too. Something else Genevieve said today on that call that really resonated with me with this topic, because I love to talk. I'm an extrovert. I will talk to you all day, every day about whatever. But this terrified me. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to say, first of all, it is way more time effective. Let's just go with that part first. Second of all, what happens when someone sends you a text? You could maybe click on it and just see how long it is, and maybe not even go back and read it again. But when someone sends a voice message, there is an instinct in our brains. We want to know what they said. And so what is the first thing we do? We hit that play button. I will hit play and pop earbuds in because I want to hear whatever it is they're going to say to me. So you are also taking a larger chance that they are going to actually listen to what you're saying, hear it from your heart, hear it with your voice. So there's so many different elements. And I will tell you, I had more success today voice messaging and I got no's and I got heck no's, but I got no's, and I was really proud of my no's. And you should be proud of your no's, because here's the goal. Your goal is actually to go for a no. So Kate, do you want to kind of tap in on like why we're going for a no?
Can I say can I just add something,
Yeah.
one thing in there about the voice messages too? I will tell you, I think a lot of people, especially when you're new, you send text messages because you are afraid of messing up and not being perfect. And you're afraid you're going to say the wrong thing. Do not let that stop you from sending a voice message. Hearing your voice is way better than this perfect copy paste message about what ProBio 5 does. So I love what Kate said about muscle memory. That's all we're doing here. We're getting the habit, and we're all committing to be disasters before we're masters. Mm-hmm. So voice messaging, please do not think it's scary because you have to be perfect. And like Nicole just said, you can clear it before you send it and re-record. I often do that too. Before Facebook lifted the 1 minute cutoff, which if you don't know that, they've done that. I used to practice my voice messages to myself to make sure I could get it in a minute, because I didn't want to send like these really, really long voice messages to people, but it does not have to be perfect. Okay, sorry. Tell them why we're going for no, Kate.
Well, that was probably the moment when the animal, I missed like 15 minutes of the call because my animals went crazy.
I'll
Oh,
jump in.
That's
Okay,
okay.
so
Jump in.
here's why you want to go for no, because you want this is my how I took it. You want to go for no because you want to get comfortable with no, because if you're comfortable with no and you're getting into the rhythm of it just being constant, then when you get the yes, you're like, super great. This is awesome. But when you get a no, it's not going to beat you down. It's not going to steal your spirit. You're going to be like, that's okay. It doesn't have to be for you right now. You're going to still stay in your confident stance, right? So you want to get the no's. Plus, the other reason you want no's is because you need no's to get to yeses, right? You got to get no's. Everybody's not going to say yes. That's a fact. Like, here's a statistic for you. Everyone's not going to say yes. You're going to get a whole lot of them. But right now, when you get a no, you probably instantly feel a form of defeat. Again, us three Jules, when we get multiple no's, can be like, oh, are you kidding me? You know what? I'm not gonna be able to do this month. I'm not gonna be able to recruit my three that I've got to recruit. I'm not gonna be able to do this. I'm not gonna be able to do that. You know what? Actually, I'm not really even that good at this. You know what? Actually, network marketing is not actually even for me. That's the like downward spiral that we go into. Or we'll go into, I'm good where I'm at. Like, I don't need to do all the things. I'll just do it in my own time, and I'll just do it the way I want to do it. And guess what? You're going to be where you are now a year from now. So it allows us to grow. That's what no's do. You want no's. You want it to really, honestly, what it's doing is thickening your skin, and you're gaining confidence in those no's. Kate, that's okay. Like, and I'm going to keep having conversation with you because I want to keep having a conversation with you about why these products are going to change your life. You don't have to say yes to me right now. Like, I totally respect that. And that was the one thing Genevieve said, is we remind people, like, it's okay if it's not for you. Like, that's fine. I want to be sure I'm offering it to you because I know it's life changing. But if it's not for you right now, I totally get that. So how's cattle ranching going? And shifting and staying in conversation that is still personable and carrying on those conversations. Because remember, we're not having relationships with people just to get a yes. We're having conversations because we genuinely want to be authentically with those conversations.
Yes. And that I love that you said that, because do not stop the relationship just because somebody tells you no, because as soon as you stop that relationship, you make it about the sale. And then you get the bad rap. And then every time you're in their inbox, they're going to roll their eyes, or they're going to think that you are after a sale. But when you continue on it, and that's what I did, I rolled into trying the hydrate because she's a liquid IV girl. And then I asked about her husband and her daughter. And so you have to keep that conversation going and let them know that your relationship matters more to you than the sale about it. Yes. Amy, are we going over the rest of the winning day, or we want to post it in?
Let me go back to sharing my screen real quick.
I know that we're over tonight. You guys knew that we were going to be over, but we really just wanted to get this winning day platform out to you guys. And then we, like you said, or Sarah said, reach out to the jewel that you'll underneath and we can get the sheets for you guys. But we really wanted to implement this because we have all three seen huge improvement in our business just in the last week.
And also with no's, Kate, the other thing really quick before we get off of no's, the other thing with no's that I think are really great is no doesn't mean no never. It means that person probably had a knee-jerk reaction because it's a social selling company, or that person got a little overwhelmed. They weren't expecting that maybe right then and there, or maybe it's just not for them right now. Most people, it's just like a not right now, but they say no because that's the instant stop the conversation response. So just remember that going into it, like this person that I'm enrolling right now, she said no to me for 8 years. And I know why she said no to for 8 years. So I approached it differently this time and it worked. It's not always going to work. She could have easily said no again, and that's okay. I'd still keep following up with her. So just know, no doesn't always mean no, not never. It could mean no, not right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, Amy, I'll let you finish up with this and then I'll end the call with the call to action.
Awesome. Okay. So we'll run through these next 3 steps pretty quickly. This actually, step number 4 is the bulk of it. So the first 3 steps were just 15 minutes each. This step is 30 to 60 minutes, and it really depends on your day. And again, right, this is step 4. So you've already spent 45 minutes on social media doing, like, working your business. Do not get caught in the scroll. Okay. So follow-ups are what you do to move people to the next step in your business relationship with them. You are not following up and just hoping they're going to say yes. That is not what we need to be doing when we're following up with people. When you follow up with people, the goal is to get these little micro commitments. That's what sales is. Sales is getting these little micro commitments to people that lead to them saying yes, okay? So you're moving people to the next step in that relationship. And it's going to be different depending on where they're at, but have you invited them to an event? Have you asked them to watch this business video, right? These are the next steps in this relationship. So you're going to spend that time in follow-up. You're also going to kind of reconnect or maintain relationships with, people that maybe are in your funnel, right? You're going to do customer care, okay? You're going to ask people to try samples. You are going to also approach current people that are product users, and you're going to ask them about covering their costs, okay? In fact, there is a magic message. My team, we have it in our customer care document. It's the magic verbiage that everyone should be saying to everyone that they sign up. Ideally, you want to do it when you call them on the phone when they place their order or before they get their welcome pack. But if you don't do it then, you can do it when they get their welcome pack, okay? And what you want to say is, hey, Nicole, I know you did not join Plexus for the business, but I want you to know that I pride myself on helping people get their products paid for. Because if there's one thing we know is that we do not ever want finances to be an obstacle to your health journey, okay? And you're inviting them to talk about that. So that's what follow-up is. Follow-up is a bulk of your winning day once you get through the first 3 steps. You guys want to add anything before I go to 5? Okay.
No, I love that, but we can type that verbiage out for you guys and share it with everybody, like in our individual groups as well. If you're in Gold Rush, we'll post it on Gold Rush as well, so that y'all have that verbiage typed up. I know it was a lot, but make sure you're putting it in your own words, not in Amy's.
Yes, use your own. So then step 5, you're going to promote. And what we mean by this, what corporate means is you're actually going to use third-party validation to promote the community of this business and what this opportunity is, right? This is social proof. So are you personally inviting people to the next call or the next event? Okay. So like the Y Plexus calls, they're every Tuesday, they're every Thursday, twice a day. Are you inviting people to them? Once they're on them, then are you following up and saying, okay, great. What did you think about it? Who was your favorite speaker? Okay, you know what? I think next I want you to join me on this community huddle. It's at the beginning of the month. Okay. And then are you getting them on the community huddle? Are you on the community huddle? Because listen, a lot of people are like, I don't need to be on the community huddle. Yeah, it's not for you. Okay. If you're like, I don't need to be on the community huddle, like I hear them kick off the quarter or I hear them kick the month off every time. It's not for you. It's for your people. Are you getting them on there? Are you inviting them to the book club? This is something that I have got to start utilizing for potentials, because Plexus gets New York Times bestselling authors to give a speech or a talk one Saturday of every month. I started calling it the Saturday Speaker Series because a lot of people think if they don't read the book, they can't get on and listen, but that's not the case. It's just motivational speakers. Are you using this? Are you promoting this? Are you on it? Are you getting your people on it? Are you using it for potentials? Guys, anyone can get on the Plexus Book Club. They don't have to be a customer or an ambassador. This is a huge way that you can add value to your network. You are getting them onto a free speaker series with people that are pretty famous in their field, okay? And then check the team calendars for upcoming events, right? Don't ever tell me you don't know when something is happening, because when you log into your virtual office, right there in a big red box, it says corporate training calendar, and you click on it and it's all there for the month. And if you miss something, the recordings are also all there on that calendar. Everything's clickable, okay? And then the very, very last step, which I didn't even make a slide for. It's so simple. Step number 6, which is what most of us do as step number 1. And then we get caught in the scroll, and then we get caught in Messenger. And then an hour or two's gone by and we're like, what happened? Step number 6 is post about your day. Post 3 stories about your day. Often that's what we do first. And then we get caught. We get caught in that non-income producing activity. So like Sarah said, the ingredients matter. The quantity matters, right? 15 minutes, but also the order matters.
Yeah. And I want to piggyback off what you said really quick about posting about stories in your day and about Instagram and why we don't want to be posting Plexus in our feed all the time. Okay. Your feed is to get new followers. It's your niche. It's what's going to, get people to stay is when they go to look at your feed. But when you post in your stories, it's getting people warmed up to who you are. And so that's when you're going to show them your day, all about whether it's the kids or the dogs or, farming or ranching or sports or whatever it is. You're warming people up so that they get to know you. And then when they click on your name and go to your feed, they don't want to be bombarded with Plexus. They want to see what your niche is, and then it gives them a reason to follow you. Oh. And then I think we'll end it, huh, Amy, right here? I think we're good, Sarah. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
We know it was like I said, we know it was a little bit late. Reach out to one of us if you'd like some spreadsheets or some more information on this, or if it was just like brain overload and you want the recording, we will give this to you guys tonight so that you can rewatch this. But our call to action tonight for this call is we want you guys to go for a no. Okay. And I see some of your guys' faces. I see some smirks happening right now. We want you to go for a no. And we want you to do it in a voice message. So when you have done it, and it might not be tonight, I got 6:45 California time, but it's 9:45 on the east side. So on the east side, I sounded ghetto there. Sorry. But we want you to do it tonight or tomorrow morning. And we want you to go for a no. And we want you to do it from your heart. We want you to voice message them. It's okay to tell them that you're nervous that you're messaging them. It's okay to be truthful with them and let them know your heart on this, but go for a no and then message Sarah, Amy, or I that you did it. Okay. Because this is going to be a huge moment for you guys and for your business. And it's going to step you out of your comfort zone. I promise you, once you do one, you're going to be like, oh, that really wasn't that bad. I think I'm going to do another one. And then that's how you're going to grow your team. And when you're doing it from a place of heart and you're doing it from a financial situation, because we all have had, a little bit of financial gain with Plexus, right? Some of us, maybe only a couple $100, but you have still made a financial contribution to your family and it's helped your family, whether it's groceries or rent or a car payment. And so when you go for a no and you let them know, hey, I'd love to talk to you more about what I'm doing and how this financial blessing has blessed me and my family. Would you be open for it? That's it. When you do that, you're going to want to do it again and again and again. And that's how you're going to bring on business builders. And if they're not interested in the business right now, maybe they're interested in the products, or maybe they're going to get on a Why Plexus, Why Now call, or on a messenger chat that you guys are doing with your teams, or on a 3-way call that one of us would do it. If you're in our direct downline, we would, we'll do the 3-way calls. That is how it's going to create momentum and get you to have business builders on your team and want people that want to row with you in the boat instead of everybody that just wants to ride along and just kind of be like, yeah, this is pretty sweet. I'm just going to sit back here and, just keep taking these products because they don't know about the financial gain. So that is our task to you guys all on this Tuesday evening is by the end of the week, it needs to be done. Like,
yes, you can
preferably tonight or tomorrow morning.
And remember, you are not asking them to commit and work a business for Plexus. You are just asking them if you can tell them about it. That's it. That's it.
And the key, like Amy's saying, is when at the end of every voice message, I think all 3 of us, I can speak for us, are saying is, are you interested, but would you be open to hearing more? Would you be open to me sending you a video? Would you be open? And give them that opportunity to be open to it. Just be open. You will be surprised at how many more people are open to something than interested in something.
And don't worry about what you're going to send them when they say yes. Look, Jamie's already like, what do you tell them if they say yes? You come in here and you're like, oh my gosh, somebody said yes. Now what do I do? And then we figure out, okay, are you going to get them on a Y Plexus call? Are you going to send them a business video? Like, don't get ahead of yourself. We're just asking to be open, and then we can figure out that later. I think a lot of us jump to the end of the results. We got to fall in love with the process, right? And just get them in. I got to tell you, a lot of jewels are doing this. Amy Morton's doing it with me. She's the Emerald on our team. She's not on this call right now. She sent me a private message and she was like, I'm frozen. When Genevieve challenged all of us to get a no today, she's like, I'm freaking out. And Amy's a master recruiter. Tons of her people are on this call right now. She's got rowers. She's like, have you reached out to anyone yet? I'm freaking out, but I made a list of 2 names. That's a start. And then about 20 minutes later, she sent a message and asked if they'd be open to watching this business video that she had that was about, 6 minutes long or something real short. So
here's an analogy too that I just thought of as you were saying that. I don't know where y'all live. I live in Texas where it's like blistering hot. And when summer comes around, so in May, all of our pools open, right? And everyone knows the pool opens. We're all so excited. But nobody actually wants to start getting in the pool because the pool water is actually freezing. It's like not as warm as it is outside. So what do? This is us taking the plunge and just cannonballing right in. That's essentially what we're doing. We're cannonballing into the water. And guess what? Once you do that and you're all wet, my husband's probably laughing in the other room because I am not the person to do this at the pool. But once you're in, you're like, oh, it's not that bad. It's actually really comfortable. I can keep doing this over and over. It's that initial cannonball into the water that you're like just grimacing about. You know what I mean? This is actually pretty accurate to the analogy.
Your husband's laughing. He's like,
yeah. Brandon's laughing at you.
Well, and let me tell you, I get the best responses from people when I am wide open at the beginning and I tell them, listen, I'm actually like, I'm anxious to send you this message and I'm like super nervous. And they're like, oh my gosh, why are you nervous to message me? Like, we're friends, right? And then it totally breaks the ice. It's like the best icebreaker to be completely vulnerable and like show them your mess. It's super, super easy. So there's one question here from Casey. Are we asking someone already on our team or somebody not with Plexus?
Somebody that's not already on your team.
Mm-hmm.
Because the people that are on your team, they're the writers right now. And we don't want to keep asking them to row if they're not willing to row.
Right.
And now, we have to meet them where they're at.
Now, if you have someone who's a product user and you've never talked to them about the business opportunity, you can do that. It can be good practice, but it doesn't count as your no, right?
That would count for your 30 to 60 minutes of follow-up.
And if you're sitting there in your own mind saying, well, I don't have anybody to send that message to, message me, because I can guarantee you have somebody that you can message. You may just be very fearful, or you may already be answering for them in your own mind. You've already created the answer, or you've already created the situation in your mind. And so you're fearful. So you're avoiding out of fear. It's not because you don't actually have somebody to message. And it can be, and here's the other thing, you are messaging this to your warm market. You are not messaging this to your cold market. So they can be like, I don't know what kind of cray you're on, but I'm out of whatever it is, you weirdo. Mm-hmm. That's not what we're not going for weird. Do not be weird. Like, how many times did Genevieve tell us today, do not be weird. Don't be the weird people that they're like, this is why I don't do network marketing, because you people are weird.
Yeah. Be
normal and be excited and be like, I mean, I actually was like, I don't even want to send one of these. Like, I love to talk. I do not want to do this. I sent 6 today. And then I was like, I got to stop because otherwise I'm not going to be able to do them the rest of the week. I'm running out of people. But let me just challenge you. Don't go into your head already telling yourself you don't have people to do this with, because you do. Mm-hmm. Tell yourself, I can do this because I love these people enough to give them this opportunity. Love people enough to share this insanely blessed business with them.
Yeah.
And then worst case scenario, what's going to happen? They're going to say no.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe they want the products too. Maybe they're going to say no. No isn't any different than them not doing it in the first place.
And we've heard it before, by not asking them, you're making the decision for them. And that's not fair. They might be going to bed praying for something like this every night. Right.
Yeah.
So you're
And
just,
it's what I'm doing, because sometimes my days are busy, is I'm writing down people that I can message so that I always have a list, so that if I'm, and I'm going to go off of it also off my heart and what I'm feeling and the conversations that I'm having with people in my network. But if I'm like, gosh, I just don't know who to ask today, I'm going to have a list of people of my warm market. And I challenge you guys to do that too. So if there's a day that you guys sit down and you plan out your week, plan out your 5-10 people that you're going to go for a no for.
And don't overthink it. Just let me tell you right now, take your hand and erase all the thoughts out of it and stop overthinking. It's where if you're overthinking, you're already making it more difficult than it needs to be. Take it like Amy said, we're going one step at a time.
and if it helps, so it helped Amy and I today when she sent me that message, is like, I'm terrified. And I'm like, I am too. And even me, Sarah, and Kate were like, okay, like, we're doing it. We did it. Oh, get in the Gold Rush chat or whatever chat we have. I forget what it's called. It's not the Huddle chat. Whatever we have, get in there and find somebody else. There are 26 people on this call. There's somebody else. They don't have to be on your team. You don't have to be in the same downline. We can do, that's why we put 3 teams together. Get in there and say like, hey, anybody want to be like my vomit buddy when we like reach out and are scared? And that really, really helps. When I am around other Plexus people, I'm way more bold in my ask versus if I'm sitting at home by myself all day. And I think I'm the only
And
one.
we all hashtagged, we did it and we didn't die.
And use this call as an excuse. Get off of this call and message somebody. Hey, Sarah, I just got off of one of my calls and I love our community and I am fired up right now. And I just want to explain to you, X, Y, and Z, my Siri's taken off on my Apple Watch, my Mac. But, I just want to explain to you what a financial blessing this has been, that I could jump on this call with 30 other women instead of being at work tonight. Would you be open to hearing more about the financial, side of this business that I'm doing? Use this call as an excuse.
Yeah.
And say that you're fired up over it.
Or use us as an excuse.
Yes, tell them we made you do it. It's a
tell
dare.
them that you were challenged or dared to pick one person, and that is the one person that you want to do this with. If I tell you, hey, Amy, I just got off of a call and I was challenged to find one person that I want to do this business with, and you were the first person that came to my mind, are you open to hearing a little bit about what I do? You're going to be like, oh my gosh, me? Who, me? Yes, why, of course. I'd love to hear, since I'm your one person. And if they say no, be like, good, you're not my person anymore. Just kidding, don't say that. But if you go into it like using us, like we challenged you. Do you know how many times my sister doesn't even know I've used that? Like my sister challenged me.
Throw us under the bus.
Yeah, throw us under the bus. We're all for it.
Yeah. Well, and that's what Amy Morton did today. She actually said she didn't use the challenge, but she said, hey, I am doing this special business group. And there was a video today that just like really fired me up. I really want you to watch it. Would you be open to it? And the person said yes. So,
Perfect.
okay. Anything else? People need
Any
chat.
questions?
If you want in the chat, let Sarah, myself, or Kate know, whoever. Or if you're friends with somebody else, they can add you to the chat. I'm not friends with everybody from the other people, like on different teams. So I think you have to be friends.
If you're on my team, message me and we can get you added.
Yeah.
It's a gold rush. So Gold Rush for us, it's a group of people who are going for gold in a 90-day period. It means that we are either, no matter if you've already hit gold or if you're brand new and started today, it's getting you to gold. So you're going to add 20 people personally. We're all doing it. It's going to be super fun. We're continuing to do it. It's an ongoing thing. It's not something that's going to stop after 90 days. So come in and join us and continue to add, all going to Earn Gold School. So that's one of the big things that we're going for. That's kind of the purpose behind it. It's Gold School is coming up and we all want to be sure we're there. So we would love to add you. And somebody in there already needs a vomit buddy. So come join her.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us for the whole hour tonight. Bye.
Sorry, we promised it won't go this long every week.
That's right. Oh, I was going to say, we do have guest speakers for the next 2 weeks. Very excited about that. Bye, friends.